Oh, welcome back, Open Hours. It's almost not, realistically. Give me a moment here. We're going to share this out, try and pull some people in. I always try to. Do I succeed? Not often. The question is, how do you make it as clickbaity as possible? Hey, welcome to the chat there. If you have any questions, type them up. We'll try and get to it. I had another guy ask me questions before. It was about streaming, and I don't know that all the replies got through, so I try. Oh, where are we at? Alright, and it is officially shared out. Let's try and get those people in from those sites. The issue today, welcome back. Thank you for joining too. I think I already said to welcome back for the third time now. The Mac, where we left off yesterday, we'd pulled the SSD, plugged it into the all-in-one. Did a data backup of roughly 244 gigabytes of data on the all-in-one over here. You can just see the edge of the screen, and now it's finishing up a Malwarebytes scan. It is on the E drive, so for the particular scan that I had to schedule for, I want to scan for rootkits and whatnot, and when you use Malwarebytes, you do need to have it scan your system drive. Now, whether it will scan for rootkits on the external drive, which is the SSD for this Mac, unknown. Worst case scenario, I already did run a scan earlier and pulled some malware off of the Mac drive, this SSD for this Mac. Pulled off, I think, 5 of them. Gonna go ahead, let that finish up, and get that in here for the time being. We need to set this to the side. We're going to work on a couple other things, namely this here, and I really hope that we're not going to get, how do you say it, any copyright violations. I'm not really going to show anything on screen, but some stuff can get pretty dumb when you have stuff in your video that you shouldn't. Now, I'm not like intentionally broadcasting. Oh, we got incoming. Check it out. Maybe he's here for me, maybe not. Hang on. Windows 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't run a virus scan.
Yeah, well...
After a year or two, I get him to, he just redoes it because you know.
Alright, well, bring her up whenever you're ready and we'll get it taken care of for you.
Okay, shit.
Raining.
Yeah, like a son of a bitch.
It happens. You have a good day. It's raining down on that guy. Oh my. Alright, back at it. Sorry. Like I said, open hours is a risk. It's a risk all the way around, whether you can have people come in. Okay, so here's what we're getting. Whoa. Here's what we're getting at. We're trying to play a DVD and have it autoplay. Now, whether it... Wow, it is not. Let's see what this thing is. So it is a DVD-ROM. Oh. Okay, so I see one potential issue right now. We're going to try and sort it out. We'll pull this out to do it. Let's go in a little closer here. So it looks like we have a stuck button. Let's go ahead. We're going to close our tablet. Get a little bit of a safety net. Something to work on. And boy, am I dumb. I should not in any way have closed that. Well, we do have power in the laptop. We'll open it back up. All we need to do is wake it up and it should open. Alright, let's unplug it now, put it to sleep, pull our drive. Now we're going to remove our door and inspect the condition of our button. So, probably the best way to do this is set it down and find a little tool to pry with. You need to pry a couple tabs out of here. Generally, you can manage if you have some plastic pry tools, and other times, some are just near impossible to remove without breaking one of the tabs. This one is one of the tougher ones, so we're going to go ahead and get a little metal screwdriver and hopefully not stab ourselves live on the stream. I am good at making an ass out of myself though, so look at that. That came right off. Okay. Now, our button is pressed in. We're going to try and get it back out. There it's back partially out. But not really out. It's so bent from being bent in like that for so long. So you can actually see it now. And yeah, it's very weak. I'm going to just call it a very, very poor design as far as how that button's held in there. We'll try and force it a little bit, force this peg down, and see if we can't line it up where it needs to press the button there when we put it back together, and hopefully it will do what it needs to. When you're going to put one of these ROM doors back on, I wish I had my other camera out. Can we do it? Nah. You want to... Oh, hell. What will it hurt? What will it hurt? Our production value has dropped to 0. Okay. Alright, let's find out. It's gonna look horrible, as always. There's no way. No way that kicked on. Let's try it. We'll come back to it. There we go. Alright, so we have a lot of info on screen. Let's try it and lessen some. There we go. That lessened a little bit of that on-screen info. Here is basically what you're looking at. You have these little tabs when you rip the door off of a laptop, DVD drive, CD burner, CD drive, DVD ROM, whatever it is that latch in. This is the primary one that locks it in on one side, right here. Trying not to glare out the camera. So you have one here, usually one here, like two in the middle and one on the other end. So 4, sometimes 5, or just 3, depending on the age of that particular model ROM. When you latch it back in, latch it there, let the other 2 click in, then click this one in last. That's generally good practice how I do it, but it doesn't mean it's 100% right. That's just tried and true what works for me. So actually, maybe we can take this back in. If the motion sickness is making you sick, sorry in advance. Alright, we're going to flip it around, put the one side in, and right there, pay attention to where the other 2 are going. They look like they're going where they're supposed to. One there, and then the one in the end. So we're still, oh, we popped out there. Let's pop this one in on the side. It's got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our button is there, however, it is flexed up. So we're going to try and press it down. This little pin right. Look how awful that is. At least it's autofocusing for the time being. That little pin keeps flexing up, and I don't know any way to keep it down to keep the button aligned. I just think from pressing it in over the years, it doesn't want to stay lined up. So I guess that's all you can hope for, is that it doesn't press in and lock in constantly opening this again. I don't even know. That's kind of like a defective way to build that. I don't even know if a new ROM door would work. Regardless, let's switch back off of this source back over. We'll get the Sony out of the way. Alright, Sony out of the way. Let's get back to the Dell. We're going to see if we can get this DVD to autoplay now that it's not continuously opening and closing. We're going to hit it easy. Very good. Okay, I like it already because it's not going to kick back open every time I shut it. We want to see, without that opening back up, if autoplay is set up on this one. If it's not, we're going to go ahead and try and get it set up. Alright, there's a couple places on Windows 10 that you may go into setup autoplay, and some may be better than others, better suited. Okay, so the app definitely did not, and we're on screen, the app definitely did not didn't happen the way we want it to. So one place you can check your autoplay settings, go to Start, go to your little gear icon. We're going to go to Devices. I guess it is seeing the cam link. And then Autoplay on the left-hand side. Memory card. Use Autoplay for all media and devices. Configure storage settings. Ask every time. Memory card. Play, media player classic, and that would be with a memory card. Now how about we ask? Then click on the default app settings here on the right hand side. We can go here and set up what we're going to use, whether it be movies and TV or something like media player classic. I prefer it over movies and TV. The codec pack that it comes with is pretty good. So we'll set that, and then we're going to by protocol set defaults by app. Of course, it's going to take a year to load. Okay, select your default programs. Media Player Classic is selected. After I set it out there, I like to come into this section and check that it is there and it doesn't have movies and TV. So what is this now? Manage? Alright, let's get out of here and go back up to Media Player Classic. Oh, all the file types, okay. AC3, DVD, DTS, digital video. So we need to set it for a bunch. Another place to check on your autoplay settings, and you have a little bit finer control, is go down to your search box in the lower left here and then type in control panel, or just start typing, it should pop up. And then go to autoplay in the control panel. You'll have the old autoplay settings that you may have messed with before. You can make sure there's a check mark here. Well, hello. Oh, let me get this, people. Jason, thank you for calling. I understand you're a trip advisor on a recorded line. And you are in the gifting department. However, I don't want a free trip or nothing. Thank you for calling. You have a good day. All right. Oh, we got to go turn the open sign up. Calling them in. Calling them in from everywhere. Alright, so on this screen here, you can actually choose, like if you stick in a flash drive and like a memory card, what you want the default behavior to be. We're interested in the DVD. Take no action on that. Blank DVD. Burn files to disk makes sense. Run enhanced content. DVD movie. Let's leave it play DVD and see what happens. Now I don't think we have a Blu-ray burner, but we're going to go ahead and set some settings. Sure. Save our settings. What we're trying to do here is get our DVD to play automatically when we put it into the ROM. Make sure Okay, so it is the feature film. Go out. In case it does pop up, we don't want flagged for, you know, putting content out that isn't ours. Okay, so it does read the disk, but it's not popping up. We may need to go in and select that file type. We're going to take a look at this PC. So it's not even seeing the DVD drive right now. Let's check our device manager and make sure it's a thing. Okay, so we have Intel Centrino Advanced and WiMAX. That driver's a little bit out. Let's check on generic multi-card. There's that, so we need a driver for that. We need... Why does the DVD drive not show up? Well, being that it wasn't, maybe it wasn't plugged in all the way until I just did it. No, it'd have to be because we opened it before. Let's go to, we're going to restart at 1. We will also go into the BIOS. We're going to check some settings there. And even though it's trying to read it, could be a bad drive. That's also another possibility. If that's the case, we're going to try and find one that's compatible and swap in. We'll put the door on if it just works. That's the thing, you got to consider all possibilities. Like, you can really torment yourself if there's some stuff you forget. And the guy I watch on YouTube made a good video about it yesterday as far as repairing Mac computers. And they don't have to be Macs, it can be PCs, and you'll run into the same types of problems. There we go, it's finally starting up. We'll see what happens here. If this don't work, then we're going to go into the BIOS and make sure that we don't have the optical drive disabled. That is a possibility, but not likely. And when we get this done, we've got another one right just out of frame. You can barely see it, the corner of it right there. Another one for autoplay. Autoplay is fun because it doesn't always work how it should whenever you think it should. It is a nightmare to get going sometimes, and other times it's easy. Alright, we will let that boot up. Let's check the status of our scan on our Macintosh hard drive. After all, that's what the video is about. But just sticking to one thing doesn't usually work because it'll drag out, and we can keep it semi-interesting by bouncing around. Alright, drive in. I'm expecting the same result. Okay, now we do. Actually, guess what? No way, did it work? What is this? We have something coming up. Check it out. We got a new icon here. Okay, so our settings did work. It must, I don't know. We went in, changed our settings, and it's auto playing now. Maybe it needed to restart. Maybe that's why it didn't work after setting them and then inserting the disc. The fact is, it popped up. We still have to hit play movie, but it at least brings it up. And you can, let's see if it'll play. You can do a play button. Sure I do. Okay, so although it brought this up, we're still not playing it. I'm going to hit exit. Close that out. Let's check from the file browser if we can even get the disk to load. Okay, audio jacket, video TS. We want a fairly large file, so let's try this one. Double click it. It's going to open up with Media Player Classic is what we cannot render the file. So let's go, let's see if there's some software. See if there's some software for this Inspiron N4010. I think that's what it is. Let's check it again. Inspiron N4010, correct. So, Google drivers. 14R N4010. We're going to look for some DVD software. Okay. And this is one of those computers that's borderline. Could have issues running 10, being that there's only Vista and 7 drivers. There's not even any 8 or 8.1 drivers. 8.1 drivers being pretty compatible. However, if you get to a point where you're trying to install Windows 10 on a computer and there's no actual drivers for it, a good policy that you could try to do is install 7, get your drivers fully updated, get them all installed, up to date on Windows 7, then do an upgrade to 10, and you may have a 10 computer with drivers installed working. This one installed, and most of them are fine. There are a few generic ones. We could come and get some. I think we need the smart card reader or the SD reader. I'm not sure. Right now, we're going to look for software. System utilities, video, application. Let's find out what applications are. So we got the Quickset, Roxy O'Byrne, Dell Digital Delivery. Let's check all. We'll scroll through it and see what. Alright, there's all. Come on. I want the scroll bar, not the selection to change. Turbo Boost Technology Monitor Software Application. Alright, I like it. We are not getting good. All right, we got the DVD RW firmware update. So one for 2018. Guess we could get that while we're here. Do this combo firmware update. We don't have that. Seagate. Okay, so stuff for the hard drive. If it is still the Seagate hard drive in there, a few things we can check on. 60, 200, 6230, HD 3650. I don't think we have any ATI graphics. And there is no actual software as far as like Cyberlink Power DVD or anything like that that I saw in this list. I could have missed it, so we'll go back up fairly quickly, just checking out the first word or so. I'm going to download that, and while we're here, we'll check our device manager. I want to know what that one driver was that was a generic one. Centrino Advanced and WiMAX 6250, so we'll get that driver. But we also multi-card USB device. Multi-card. So let's try and install it, see if we can get that to change from generic to something else with this driver we just downloaded. Hit continue, hit OK. Alright, did our software pop up or do we manually have to? We'll try and point it to it. Let's see. Let's update the driver. Browse my computer. We want C, should be C. Drivers, C, Dell. Let's find out. Dell. Drivers. Let's check. Hit next. Best drivers are already installed for that. I don't believe it, however. Let's go run that. If this complains about the best drivers are already installed, then I guess we go with the generic drivers. However, generic, I mean, it's kind of just like a basic Microsoft compatible driver. You never want that when it's dealing with like your graphics card or something. Something like a card reader may not be too bad. You gotta weigh it out. You might get better performance with the generic one if it's an old driver you're trying to install. Let's hit finish and see if that changed in the system. So it did. It went somewhere else. It disappeared from our disk drive list, and let's see if we can't find where it went. Standard SATA HCI controller, so that could be, this one can be confusing right here. here using, and like I said here, the generic card reader disappeared, or with generic whatever it was listed as our list. And what was it, Realtek? Still not seeing it. Still not seeing it at all. Storage spaces is good, some video and game. Advanced and WiiMax 6250. So let's try and find the WiiMax and 6250 together in the same description here. We'll install that. That looks like what we're looking for. It's going to be old, but it may work. You won't know until you try it. We're nearing the end of our Malwarebytes scan over on the LM1. It's not there yet. Hopefully it gets there. That's what the stream was supposed to be about, and it's not. Okay, let's click on this. And this is the part of finishing up a computer after you do the OS install. And granted, one of the methods that people go by is when this is up, if there's nothing that has the little exclamation point or the circle with the question mark, if they're all just like that and nothing showing, that it's good. And true, it is good, but you can oftentimes, your computer will be acting, it'll be good, but just not up to how it could be, not up to speed. And one of the things that will cause that is under display adapters, it will say generic or basic Microsoft display adapter instead of Intel, AMD, ATI, or NVIDIA, whichever is appropriate for your desktop or laptop, tablet, whatever. If it has the basic or generic display adapter there, you want to go out and get the driver from your manufacturer's website. This one is good, so it's here. And kind of the same thing with this standard SATA AHCI controller. We're going to try and get that to change to something more specific. There's another one down here, but I've has always functioned well enough. And oftentimes when you download a full set of drivers from your computer manufacturer's website, it often doesn't change. Okay, so that was the WiiMax. Let's go ahead and point this to it for an update. Update driver, browse. Dell drivers is good. Let's see if it can find it. Installing drivers, will it work? And it did. Now keep in mind, these drivers that we keep downloading and are installing, they are specifically for Windows 7 64-bit. We are on Windows 10. We're on a 64-bit version of Windows 10. Actually, what happens if we type control panel, we'll go here, and we can get even just a way to confirm that that is what you are running. Go to your system, or the other way to get there that I show often, 64-bit, it is Windows 10 home and 64-bit. So there's a lot of cases where older drivers for an older version of Windows will work on a newer version, but not always. There's some cases where they just don't, and if you force the install, you may end up with a blue screen, or your laptop's going to be rebooting until you get that driver removed. It may not even boot in some cases. So this method of the older OS drivers doesn't always work, but oftentimes does, but not always. So keep that in mind when doing this sort of thing. The WiiMax driver, did it get it? Indeed it did. So no more exclamation point or circle with a question mark. That one's good. Now we want to get a controller for the SATA AHCI controller. How we can find that, we're going to make this list way shorter. We'll change our category. Usually we can go with chipset. Let's see what it brings up. And if not, we'll go with the SATA. Card reader driver. We're going to get this while we're here and this one. And then we're going to switch over from chipset to SATA, or serial ATA. We have the Intel Rapid Storage Technology driver and the firmware update for the hard drive. However, to find out what hard drive's in this, you would either tear it apart or look in your device manager. This is indeed not a Seagate hard drive. It's not a Seagate Momentus or Seagate Momentus Thin. It's a Western Digital. That's what the WDC, Western Digital Corporation or Company, Western Digital Corporation, I think. So we don't even need, not that we don't need, we can't run these. They will do us nothing. That means the hard drive more than likely has been replaced in this one, or it got a bigger hard drive installed at time of manufacture, and that's just the driver that's listed for this particular model. Alright, look at it. Look, you put one in, another one shows up. Let's see if we can update this driver and send it to the same spot. Okay, it's updated the drivers. WiiMax network adapter. Can we browse and go to the same spot to get a driver? Okay, how many more are going to pop up? Looks like we're good. Let's run these few that we just got, which would be the most relevant or most recent three. The two with the chipset, and then the one on this page that's showing. I did it. It was muted. Hiding myself away. I can't be a loser in public anymore. Just gonna hide and mute it. Hide away and mute the stream, just let it go till they kick me off. I wonder if there is a limit. It's very possible, right? What happened to my stream? Did it really kick out? It's a buffer fest. Stream health is good. I'm gonna refresh the page actually. Nobody ever types. It's amazing. Well, not nobody. One guy typed. Two people, I think. My wife and one other guy at one point. Same thing, same thing. Being that Malwarebytes is taking forever over here, there's two possibilities. We're sorting through, it's scanning a lot of files. There's, like I said, 244 gigs on that SSD. It's a 500 gig. and there is 244 gigs of user data, not to mention all the Windows stuff that's there. Or there's still some malware, and it's taken this long to find it. Even though it had already been scanned and removed earlier today. All files successfully unzipped. Where did it go? There it is, standard. We will update this driver. And we're going to point it to that same place. See, Dell drivers, that's where most of them unzip to. Let's hit next. So the best drivers for the device are already installed. We know that may not be true, and this is just from past experience of today. Not any other days, just today. We already had that tell us the best drivers installed already. Not entirely true. So let's go to our local disk, Dell, and actually on 532, we don't have anything recently, so we sent it to the wrong spot. Let's try this method, browse, and we're going to go to a slightly different spot. We're going to go to Intel. Okay. Best drivers already installed. I don't believe you. So it is just logs. Alright, Intel graphics. Most recent control center setup. Let's run the setup and see if it changes anything in our device manager. Unmuting here. Did it change a dang thing? Did not. Let's update it. Search automatically. You can always try this, searching online. Oftentimes it can find stuff. Or you get this the same message. Let's go with we're going to unzip the one other driver we downloaded on the chipset part and see if it contains an updated driver. R25557. Make it. Okay, so we got both of them installed. I'm going to go ahead and hit next there. Yes. Next. Do your thing. Because it was starting it up, but it sometimes takes a while for that to appear. We're going to hit no and let this install finish. This one should prompt us to reboot when it's done. And we can do that. I'm going to throw an eye over here on our Mac hard drive. It is so close, but not quite there. Click next to continue, and no, I will restart this computer later. And we can see right here that the controller did change. It's not that standard or whatever. So I'm going to say overall, oh yeah, we know that's good. We could install the monitor driver. Will it make a difference? Probably not. Let's do it anyhow. Just cause we're here, we can. Would that be system utilities? Video. Go to all. I know there was a monitor driver somewhere in the all list. Intel Turbo Boost technology, monitor software application, Turbo Boost. IN 2020M monitor driver. How do we find out about our monitor? How would we do this? Windows R. Sysinfo? No, can't tell us that. Still not. And that disappeared much too quick. Okay, I don't know what monitor it is we have. We're skipping that for right now. Chances are it's still going to look the same. It may not behave all the same ways from the generic PMP monitor driver to this one. So I need to find out the monitor in this. We may need one of our external drives to run a system info. As far as that, autoplay I still don't think autoplay is going to work. Let's go back, insert our disk again, and see. Granted, it does pop up that window, but if that window is not going to play, yeah, we'll hit play and wait. Yeah. Even if you tab to it and hit enter, you get nothing. So let's exit it. We're going to go in and change our autoplay settings again. Back to movies and TV. This may be a case for Media Play Classic not working. Even though I like it, and what I do, it works great. It may not work with older. I don't usually watch older DVDs. It's all digital media. And Media Player Classic works great. However, let's change it back to the default. Movies and TV. And lastly, let's go back to Control Panel and try and solve the original problem with our autoplay. We're going to set up the same thing in here for the DVDs because it is still set to Media Player Classic, even though let's put take no action, take no action. That's our doable, take no action. Windows Media Player. You know what? I don't know if that would work. It's not. Yeah, it's Media Player Classic. So let's save that. We're going to give this thing a reboot. And see. Like I say, autoplay sticking a DVD in, just having it pop up, is a feature that in today's age of streaming content on demand, I'm getting more and more and more requests for this. Like, not requests, but people requesting this coming in, and when they're in here getting whatever service, they want the stick the DVD in the laptop and have it pop up and play, which is a reasonable thing to want. The fact that so many laptops come brand new and don't have that feature enabled is kind of baffling, that they would not have that set up already. And good news, our drive is done. Let's go ahead and get this pulled out of our adapter, and we will throw it back into the sad little MacBook Pro. Alright. Hopefully this is my lucky day, and Movies and TV takes care of it. Although that was the default set, and it did nothing. It's like really trying, it reads and then it just kind of gives up. But we have a spinner, so we will let it spin for the time being. And nothing. Okay, back into the settings. Is movies and TV listed? Find a new DVD app. Ask me every time. Open folder to view files. Let's do this. Let's give it another. We'll go into our default apps and give it another option. TOD. So mostly everything's covered by Windows Media Player and movies and TV. Runtime Broker EXE. So something's broken. We broke it. We really broke it this time. DVD going in. Let that pop up and continue this. And this is our infected MacBook. Sad little infected MacBook that has Windows on it, so it can be infected. I guess malware can get. Let's look at this DVD drive, Video TS. Oh, that drive sounds bad. That drive sounds really bad. Let's go to properties and see. Windows Media Player is what it's set up to do. Let's change it all to movies and TV. More apps. We're sourcing the internet for this one. Drive back in. Let's get a bottom on it. And get this underway. Something is not quite lining up. Why is that? And there it goes. Now it's magnets are doing what they're designed to do. Going to take a look at another media player that is a little better than Media Player Classic, a little better than Windows Media Player. I don't know that it competes with movies and TV. I have no basis for comparison. But we're going to try VLC in a moment. Right now we want to get this put back together, start it up, and start a reset, trying to keep as much of the stuff as possible. However, I don't know if a reset or a refresh or restore, any of that's going to work, being that Windows is infected and some stuff is corrupted. Basic tools won't run and reset anything. Not reset, they won't just run to do the cleanup. It will blue screen and do a bunch of other stuff. If all else fails, we're going to wipe it out, and get bootcamp downloaded, the drivers part of bootcamp, not the whole application. So we'll have the drivers, and then we will reinstall Windows all over again. Yay! It can be monotonous and time consuming on PC. On a Mac, it's even worse. Especially since this Mac OS isn't wanted to where you can go ahead and restart into Windows if you want, or do the fusion thing where you run Windows and Mac kind of at the same time. Windows is running in a VM on your Mac partition. Doesn't want that. Just straight Windows, no Mac OS, no rebooting from one to the other. All right, let's hit yes and let this install. Do your worst, VLC. Next, install. Let's check all. All is well. Well, as far as construction-wise, OS in question? No, it's crap. All right, let's get some of these defaults set. We'll try VLC, and we may end up with completely the same results. Where it doesn't autoplay, and we're stuck with it, and we'll actually search it at this point. But I've done this quite a few times, and Media Player Classic usually works. There are some instances where it doesn't. I don't know about the age of the DVD. When did Casino Royale come out? Come on now. We'll call that good, and we're going to finally go into the control panel again and set our autoplay settings there over to VLC. Autoplay, DVD movie, play it. Did I just set this? I think I did. Let's check. Maybe I'm not hitting apply. I'm skipping something. No, it's all there. VLC. Alright, save it. Get out of there. And if it doesn't work, we will pick it back up later. We've got this to work on. It's looking promising, but if it can't render it, it can't render it. Okay, DVD, it's trying. It's doing something. What's it going to do? Who knows? Losing the plot. It's gone. I think part of it may be the disc, but at least it's popping it up. Of course, at least it at least did that the other time too. Yeah, nope, no hope. I think we go autoplay. No, oh, maybe. Do we actually have to hit play? Is that too much to ask somebody to do? No way. It stopped doing little seeky back and forth, and I got a timer of 1 minute. So let's hit play movie. Come on, they have to be able, if it comes up, hit play the movie. And you can double click on VLC, Media Player Classic, Windows Media Player, and usually it takes you full screen. We'll take it off of that though, because we're not trying to get it for copyright. $250,000 fine. Unauthorized reproduction or distribution of copyrighted work. Does that include streaming it? Whatever. Then we got 250 grand I can borrow. Come on, somebody out there has it. I know you do. Stingy. Let's get our Mac cord over here. Get this thing booted up and see what the situation is. How bad is it? And we can go direct HDMI from this as well, which is kind of cool. All those years having all those goofy connectors on Mac laptops, and finally you get an HDMI cable, and then they switch it out to USB-C. Which USB-C is cool. You can do a lot with that. That connection has some serious bandwidth potential, but and daisy chaining. Don't forget the daisy chaining, what it can do there. Alright, so we are playing a movie real quick. We'll throw it up for a few seconds. That is the DVD playing. If you're hearing sound, I do apologize. I am going to escape out of it and close it. So that one plays DVD. I think on the one, this sad little guy right here, we're gonna do VLC right on it and save some time. Right now, this is our main focus though, so I'm going to work a little on this. We're going to see if the reset will start. If it does, we'll cut the stream there. If not, we'll cut it. We're cutting it regardless. Can't have it running all night. Okay, we are in safe mode. Safe boot was still set up, so we need wrong one. Command R, and we need msconfig. We're going to go and unselect safe boot. And how you can do that, I always like to throw, I know I've covered it, but we're going to do it again. Let's just hit F4 and close that window. Plug in the HDMI. Go to the repair. Ooh, it really wants, oh, I can't do it in safe mode. What am I thinking? I'm full over here. Okay. You hit your Windows key and R, or if you're on a Mac that has Windows installed, the Command key plus R, you get your little pop-up. You want to type msconfig. Even on Windows 10, it'll pop a window up. Go to the second tab, which is boot. Down in the bottom left, uncheck safe boot. Then we're going to go back to the general tab and go to normal startup. Put the dot in the circle there, then hit apply. okay, and we're going to reboot this thing, and it should come up. That wonderful Mac chime. Alright, mission accomplished on this guy, the Inspiron N4010. We have autoplay on one other one to do. I think I'm switching from Media Player Classic to VLC. I've loved Media Player Classic for years, but I think VLC is a little more robust. You can do more with it, I think. I'm not trying to insult MPC fans out there, but I like Media Player Classic. Oh, tell me that it... Okay, I thought it lost brightness. There's a little thing that can happen on Macs where if you plug in your external display and then your display is dimmed down because you're using an external monitor, external display, and then you unplug it without brightening your screen back up, it will boot up and has been misdiagnosed many times by many repair people, whatever. It's been misdiagnosed by a lot of people that it was a dead screen, it was a bad backlight fuse, a whole bunch of things. And all it merely is the brightness was dimmed, it was turned all the way down. We got a spinner here that's not spinning. Windows, are you crashing on me since I removed your malware? Let's restart it and see what happens. Alright, Windows is up and it is spinning this time compared to the last time it just stuck there, so we'll leave that there till we get our screen up, our login. Then we'll try our HDMI luck then. We do have it. We're going to password this thing. Can we change the display? Get out of the way. That's fine. No smart card reader. All we merely want is personalized. Let's do a different. I like this one. We'll switch to that one for now. We'll bring it back. Just not yet. Not now. There, that's way better than somebody's kids or family or personal. I need to start doing that, really. Alright, here we have some apps that we need to close down. Let's go into our settings and see what can be done about resetting and refreshing this CD. I suppose, how about, since we got the malware out now, we'll close that. Now since the malware's gone, do we have, alright, we do have a display. Since it's gone, let's really try and see if we can finish what we were doing with the cleanup, since we got the stubborn stuff out by plugging the SSD from this MacBook in as an external. We'll see what can be done. And we'll go with the one that locked up on us, which is actually our kill. Was the culprit that locked up and blue screen due to what it was trying to remove. I'm going to hit no. Give me a second here. I need... We're actually got to plug a mouse in. This is getting out of hand with the... No right... there is a right click, okay? Granted, yes, there is. It's just a roundabout way to get to it. Alright, mouse plugged in. We'll see if this runs through or if it blue screens. We'll just leave it up. Last time I ran this app, when cleanup first attempted, before doing the data backup and then malware removal with it plugged in as an external, this stopped at one point and went to, blue screened, and that was that. Let's see if we can get through it. That's looking a lot better than the last time already. So I think we may have a workable computer to finish the cleanup, finish the repair process. Don't mind me right now. I'm just going to go in and set a restore point on this little Dell Inspiron N4010. There's that. Alright, let's set the restore point. We're going to create it with date. And what is it? 619, 620, 619. Alright, there we go. Back on the Mac. Let's hit OK. We'll get our log file. Just check, see if there's anything that it did for us. A bunch of missing services and incorrect image paths. I don't know how to interpret all that, but I know the more that's here, the more it seems like it helps out the computer. So I'm guessing remove stuff or... Do you have to know exactly how all your tools work for them to be effective and be usable? I don't know. I would say so, but maybe not always. Let's run as admin. This is kind of up to date from April. Let's accept. We're going to change our parameters and go in and look at this and this. Alright, restore point set. We need Office installed for this gentleman. Even though I don't think he uses it. However, if we can get it on there, I'm going to look at his data backup and pull the key out right now. Let's open that folder and view them files. And guess what? It's not, the backup's not on here. Useless I am. Useless. And all of a sudden, I am missing stuff. Where is my Lexar drive? Found it. Come back. Alright, our results here are 0 threats. Good. I like it. I agree. We did all that. Malwarebytes was ran with this running and found nothing. However, when we actually shut it down, pulled the drive, plugged it in as an external, ran Malwarebytes, it took a while the first time through, but it did find, I think, 5 different things, pulled them all out, and after doing the data backup. So we did that a little out of order. We're going to have to scan that data backup to pull the potential malware out, and then if we would have to reset this, we'd have the data and put it back. The reason you would scan and then, well, you do the data backup and then scan it, is you don't want to restore the malware back to the system whenever you restore it. So I guess it's the cart ahead of the horse kind of thing, but it would still work, but it's not as efficient. Let's go up. We are going to look at Malwarebytes. Let's see if we get the MBMA SwissArmy.sys error. Actually, yeah, we can run it. If we do, then we know without a doubt there is still something corrupted within the system, and we've got more work cut out for us. It's a good key indicator. Now, it could just be something corrupted with Malwarebytes itself, like on the computer, Malwarebytes anti-malware. Right now, we're trying to run Malwarebytes anti-rootkit. If we get a blue screen error from this, then we know we got a little bit more work to do. It may be a little work, it may be a lot of work, but you never know till you get there. Alright, update, success, let's hit next, and we'll do the scan. Wow, this is going. Rearrange my windows. I don't like them toward the top or the bottom. It's just right dead center. Dead center and nothing at all. We won't work on it. Refuse it. Send it back where it came. Back one. Run it. This program can take a little bit to run, so we'll hang out for a few, pick up some tools, put the cameras away. Got one here, one there. We'll do those few things. We'll see what the status of this is by the time that's done. This will be finished. I'm not going to do the other autoplay on the stream. That would be dumb to repeat something. But we know VLC worked when Media Player Classic failed us, so I think we're gonna use VLC for a while. It is a good program, very robust. You can do some neat stuff with it too, as far as like from servers and stuff. Alright, and it's almost official. Let's check it out. The toys. The toys are put away as they need to be anyhow. Or tools, tools. Of course, it's not play down here. You know what? You can play at any job. If it's what you really want to be doing, it's not work. It's never work. It's passion. It's playtime. Enjoyment if that's what you enjoy doing. And I think everybody deserves a chance to do something that they enjoy that much. Even if it does get frustrating and whatnot, it's still fun. Not really like work. Fixing stuff. Getting it working. How does it work? Why does it work this way? Granted, it's just simple repairs, and then you get into the tearing stuff down, fixing that, like physically, hardware wise, or broken stuff. Even the cheap fixes, some of those can be interesting, where you use an epoxy or JB Weld because that's the fix they want versus buying a new top case or a top lid. Some of that gets interesting. Not near as fun as the other stuff, but it's all fun. Here's where we're at here. System 32. This does go through fairly quick. It does say done, but it's definitely not done. As long as this is moving, and sometimes this pauses for a little bit, it's not. You'll know when it's done. You'll have, I think, a either next or finish button here. I'm not sure. Maybe both. So a huge thank you to whatever company makes these. We've used it yet again. Actually, I think this is the third time, maybe, over a few years now, that we've got to pull out this specific adapter on this specific MacBook. We've used it on a couple others that had the same pinout of SSD in them. Good stuff. Get your adapters if you want to do this stuff, or even if you're at a business and you don't have the proper stuff and you're turning down jobs, get them a couple dollar adapters that can help you out. To not turn them down or send them somewhere else. It's fun. Alright, let's check our repair quick. SysWow64, we're toward the end, however, I think it's still going to be a few minutes for Malwarebytes anti-rootkit. It is an SSD, so it's running faster than normal. However, we'll hang out for a minute. Just to see if it finishes, see if it gets results. Alright, come on, autoplay. We got some fixing to do. Let's wake this thing up from its sleep. And finally, we need... Oh, yeah. This guy's going to have to get his web root back on. I really don't know what to make of that application. The web root secure anywhere. I don't use it. Personally, I don't use WebRoot on any of my computers or even family members' computers. I've heard some people say it's garbage, don't buy it. Other people praise it, it's great. I don't have any type of honest review on it. I do have very minimal experience with the few random computers that come in with it installed on them. Really no thoughts on it because I always instantly just shut it down and I have to type in a little code to shut it down, like when you want to close out the application, and it'll close out till the next reboot, it starts back up. I can't say whether it's good or bad. WebRoot Secure Anywhere, you may have heard of it, seen it on a friend's computer, whatnot. If you want to know, go check it out. Check out YouTube reviews, read online, see who makes it. Check the manufacturer's website of who makes WebRoot Secure Anywhere. But yeah, I don't have an honest opinion or anything on it. Minimal experience, and that's only to shut it down so it doesn't mess with our tools whenever we're trying to run scans and whatnot. Alright, we have some stuff installed. We're going to go ahead. We need one more program. We got to get VLC on this one, and then we'll set up our auto. But like I said, we already saw that. We don't need to repeat it. Oh, guess what came back? Guess what came back? And boy, did it ramp the fans up full tilt. This one is a little tough to get rid of. We're going to have to go online. Driver support with active optimization. What a nightmare. Go away. So scan finished, no malware found. We're going to hit exit. The fact that this just came back out of nowhere. Let's exit it. Yes, we're going to go into the control panel. Add remove programs. Actually, no, you know what? We're not even getting that dumb with it. We're going to go back out here, and we're going to use our Revo uninstaller. Run as admin. We're going to see about removing every little thing we can with that driver support with active optimization. And anything dealing with it. We'll skip over the upgrade for now. Let's go install date. Oh, this program. We may get it doing this. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a nuisance when I see it on computers. Some of them, they have some similar names. Some of them are harder, much harder. Like yeah. Like I said, it's fun. Not everything's fun. This program is a nuisance. And sometimes I just uninstall without much issue. You get rid of it, run a scan, and boom. Business done for the day. That's the status there. Alright, after the uninstaller runs, what Revo does is it starts up, it triggers the actual like uninstall or whatever program. Like say you want to uninstall ImageBurn or TeamViewer, something out of your list here. ImageBurn, TeamViewer, whatever, the mileage estimator. You would highlight it and then right click and uninstall, or highlight it and go up to uninstall up at top. This window pops up. It sets or request and then sets if everything's okay. A restore point starts up the application itself, whatever it is you're trying to uninstall, starts up its uninstaller, uninstalls, finishes. Some apps, when you uninstall them, or programs, after they finish, they want to restart the computer. Just don't do anything. Don't click. If it's one of the ones like you can cancel the uninstall or hit OK to reboot to finish it, don't click anything. Try and get this window back out in front by clicking on it. Select your advanced. If anything else is selected, put your selection or your little dot in advanced. Hit scan, and it's going to scan for leftover files and folders. What it finds, if since you just uninstalled the program with its own uninstaller, you may find some leftover stuff. If you do, go ahead and select all and delete. Yes. Again, leftover files and folders, we're going to hit select all, delete. Yes. And where did it go? Okay, so it's gone. That's that one. Let's look for any more instances of it or something. Total connect. I don't believe there is anything else. No. Let's do our reboot. I want to see if that comes back. Restart. We'll switch off of that. If it doesn't come back, we're cutting it here. Gonna cut it. Finito. Done. Adios. Yeah, I was genuinely shocked when that driver. I know that has to be like the fourth time I've uninstalled it. Maybe third. I did through the control panel, I had to remove programs. And then I did it through the menu itself. So that was the third one that I did there. Still a nuisance, still a mess. Hopefully Revo has taken care of it. Alright. Get it back up to snuff, computer. Come on. Waiting on results here. Did driver support really disappear? Driver support with active optimization. Don't believe in any of that stuff. It's all fairly bogus. Yeah, it's bogus. You don't need any of those programs. Granted, Dell. I think Dell has Dell driver assistant or driver support, something like that. They'll put on there. And look, we removed the program. We got a blue screen for removing driver support. So it is definitely a case of malware. Right back, almost back to where we were, but we're not even running tools now. We uninstalled a program and now it doesn't want to boot, so we're going to go ahead and restart it. If we have to, we'll pull it up in safe mode. Not today though. We'll see if it boots. Other than that, I'm going to say have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. It's one of those. Try and fix something. If it gets frustrating, walk away from it. Come back again. If it isn't easy, do it enough and it should become marginally easier over time. But yeah, thank you for getting your hands dirty or hanging out. Go fix something, help somebody else do it. We're going to sign this off as soon as we see if we get a blue screen or a boot. Oh, the horror, the horror. The horror that is computers. Alright, what do you say? Blue or Windows? Are we getting a login screen or are we getting a blue screen? Login or blue? Login or blue? Which one? Place your bets. Place your bets. Double or nothing. Sorry, if it does get to the login, I don't want the customer's name coming up. Okay, so we do have a picture. That isn't everything. I've seen this come up and then a blue screen right after. But let's try. We got to type the password in. And we're in. We have the new smart card error. Let me get this display connected for everybody out there. That's up because there's a piece of hardware not plugged into the computer to read the Sentry card or smart card, whatever they are. Not important. Not important to this job, but that's what our error is about. Yes, we'll close the utility. What is this bugging us about? This one, we're going to say no. We know our trial expired. Let's see what's running. Do we have driver support? Is it going to show up? Is it going to jump out of the weeds at some random point like it did there? That was awesome. Granted, it's warm in here. The AC is not on. So it's warm. It's not hot. It's not warm to the point where this fan is ramped up crazy. You can barely hear it running. Even if I put it right up, my mic down by it like that, or bring it up by me, you're not really going to hear the fan running, but it is running, keeping this thing fairly cool. You know, it's a little warm here, but not like hot. It's warm. As soon as that driver support opened up, both fans in this thing ramped up to full tilt. It's not a good program. I'm sorry. If it makes your computer behave like that, it is not worth. It's not worth its weight in helium even. You loser. Driver support. Active optimization. Get out of my face. Oh my goodness. Alright, so here we go. We're checking. Yeah, dismiss. Not a problem. Okay, that is gone. We don't want to sign in. We're not using Windows. Hello. All you or not heed them. Okay, no driver support. We don't want to buy the program. Get out of here. And we're going to do the fun thing, custom. Configure the scan. We're going to select the root of our drive. We're going to scan for rootkits because I haven't done this part of it on this machine. We'll hit scan now, and that is where we're going to get out of here. What is this pop-up I'm getting? Can you not? Yes, of course it can scan without making me buy it. Alright, I'm getting out of here. Like I said, we did the sign-off. Thank you for hanging out, each and every one of you. I appreciate you. Simply amazing that any of this even makes the slightest bit of sense. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm speaking a completely different language when trying to talk to people. If it comes across that way, I do apologize. I don't mean for it to. But yeah, have a good evening. Enjoy it. Fix something. Do it. Help somebody. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow.